next segment, which is what is a home energy assessment? And Chris Lavalley from National Grid will guide us through. But I think before Chris joins, we are going to share a video on a home energy assessment that was provided from Eversource.
See it.
Ina?
I am trying to get that going.
Jesus.
Ina, should we move to Chris? Oh.
Can everyone see this okay?
That's the, yes, we can see it, but that's the wrong video.
Oh, apologies. One moment. We're starting with the weatherization one, correct?
Correct. No, the home energy assessment one.
Okay, that's the one I had on first.
No.
Okay, let me share my screen if, let me know if it's correct. And this is the other one.
That's correct.
Okay, great.
You need to share your sound.
Ina, you'll have to stop sharing and then reshare with computer sound also shared.
Okay, nothing was heard so far.
Nope.
I'm sharing computer audio.
Okay, let's just bring on Chris and we'll work on the video. Chris? You should be, you're not, we can't hear you, Chris. Still can't hear you. And it's because we're recording this for public posting that we're having all this technical difficulties. So please stand by.
Anything now?
We can hear you now.
Ah, interesting. I just had to put it up and back, and that's all it took.
Okay, do you have a slide deck that we need to share? Okay, Chris, thank you. Now we can't hear you.
Any luck now?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on.
Can't hear you unless you're holding it.
How about without the headset? Does that work?
That works.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what was going on, but all right. Well, just let me know if you're unable to hear me again. But so I'm going to be talking about the path to decarbonization. So I'm Chris Lavely with National Grid. And so if we can go to the next slide, please. We are going to start by talking about home energy assessments. So we'll get into just what that's all about and the process and everything that it entails. So what is a home energy assessment? So it is a no-cost assessment that really helps just identify any sort of opportunities in your home where you can reduce energy consumption, use energy more efficiently, and conserve. So this starts with things like weatherization, which I'm going to be talking about, and also mechanical systems like heat pumps, which we just heard about. But in addition to that, we also, through an HEA, there are additional opportunities that people can look into for decarbonization that might not be a part of Mass Save, but we have heard from a number of customers just over the years wanting to know what else they can do beyond weatherizing and upgrading their appliances and HVAC systems, people who really want to go all in on decarbonization. And so we wanted to be able to direct people to those resources. So that has become a part of the HEA as well. So what you get out of an HEA, which I'll get into in later slides, is a customized report that also has, so it has information about the available incentives for whatever work you want to do, but also has some information about additional opportunities to decarbonize as well. So if we go to the next slide, please. All right, so what are the benefits? So a home energy assessment is really something that provides customers with some information, some education just about what their home looks like, how it uses energy. So some of the benefits are that you save energy, you improve the comfort and indoor air quality, increase home resiliency, and lower environmental impact. So just important to note that your home is an investment. It's good to check up on it and just ensure that it's in good shape for a variety of reasons. So if we go to the next slide, talk about who can participate. So this is really looking at market rate customers, and there's some notes down below. So we're talking about homeowners, landlords, renters, but just some notes on that. Firstly, if you're a condo owner or a renter, you might not necessarily have the authorization to make improvements to your property, or it may be kind of mixed about what you have control over. And so you may just need approval from a condo board or from a landlord, but you can still get an HEA. So you can still learn about how your home, how your unit uses energy. And then you can potentially take that to your condo board or your landlord and say, hey, I got this assessment done. Here's what they suggested. Here's what they found. So still valuable for them to do that. And then the next two bullets, just wanted to note that we're talking about market rate customers today. So in 1 to 4 unit buildings. So we do have a separate low income program. So that's primarily like those on utility discount rate, less than or equal to 60% of state median income are served through a separate program that has a lot of similarities to this one. And then there's also a multifamily buildings one for buildings that have 5 units and above. Those are served through a separate program as well that is also pretty similar to this, but just a different participation pathway. So market rate 1 to 4 is really what we're talking about today. So if you go to the next slide, you can just show you more about like what is involved in an HEA and the whole process of participating. So essentially, an energy specialist either visits your home or conducts a virtual assessment. They start with just coming to talk to the customer, interviewing them, asking them about their goals, any pain points, before doing a thorough walkthrough with an inspection, collecting data from the walls and seeing if there's any weatherization opportunities, but also noting any health and safety concerns. So doing a full evaluation to ensure that there's no issues like mold, for example, where you wouldn't want to add insulation until that is addressed. Then after going through and doing that and doing a few installations of some instant savings measures as well. So this is some smaller things that are things like faucet aerators, low flow shower heads, programmable thermostats. From there, they will come up with a report for you. So that report has, I'll go into it more in the next few slides, but it really just tells you like what opportunities you have to conserve energy, to use energy more efficiently, and then beyond. And then from there, they help you to outline next steps, like things like everything from contracts and subcontracting to understanding what incentives and financing you have available to you and just providing that ongoing support. So all in all, an HEA is approximately 2 to 3 hours from start to finish. So if we go to the next slide. So the new enhanced HEA report. So this was something that was launched in April of this year that was based on feedback from stakeholder focus group. So the standard features are really that you're getting educational content about what you can do to save energy, getting relevant recommendations. So it really is focused towards your, a resulting report from your home energy assessment. That'll just show you what specifically you can do for your home. A list of the incentives and financing offers, which I'll get into later. And then, like I mentioned, the health and safety information. So in addition to that, some of the new enhanced features are more enriched educational content and visuals to make it more customer friendly. This can be pretty daunting to someone who maybe hasn't even thought about their utility bills or how their home uses energy. And then more links to additional resources, like I mentioned in the first slide. Like if you want to do some things outside of Mass Save, like going into solar or EV charging, etc., those resources are available for you to kind of take a look at on your own. And then I'll get into the decarbonization roadmap and expected replacement timelines in the next couple slides. So if we go to the next one. Okay, so we have a decarbonization roadmap. So this is just like some examples of some of the features or information that you may see in your HEA report. Weatherization improvements coming first, of course. As we kind of alluded to in the last session, weatherization, it's important by itself, but it's also essential to weatherize your home before you go on to the next step and update your heating and cooling systems to right size the equipment. So Brendan had definitely mentioned heat pumps that are properly sized and designed. So weatherization is a real key component to that, to right sizing your heating and cooling equipment. So this roadmap really just lays out the things you can do and the order that you should be doing them in, doing the weatherization first, then right size for heating and cooling, which tends to be the biggest user of energy for your home. And then from there, looking at things like appliances, water heaters, any additional equipment. So Mass Save has retail products platform where you can apply for rebates for appliances. So the link is right there. And then there's the additional things I talked about that are outside of the scope of Mass Save, everything from solar and storage to electric vehicles. So the next slide. So this is really looking at the expected replacement timeline. These are just some examples of the features that you might see in your report, but it's really important to have an idea of what you may need to invest in the future so that you're not rushing to replace it when it fails. So I mentioned the weatherization and heating and cooling up front, but this timeline will show you like when something is expected to reach the end of its useful life. And this will really just help you to plan financially and to do your research and really get a good quality product that works efficiently, because many of these pieces of equipment, they're going to sit in your home for perhaps a decade or more, and you want to ensure that you're getting the best quality and most energy efficient equipment that you can. So if we go to the next slide, you can learn how to schedule an HEA. So 1 to 4 unit buildings, which is really what I talked about today. There's this phone number, there's a live link to schedule, but it's through masssave.com. And then if you're a 5+ unit building, there's this number here. So I just wanted to address too that this is one way to participate. There are other ways. So we would encourage people to get a home energy assessment. And by calling this number or following this link, you can select a home performance contractor who would do the HEA for you, and then likely follow up with doing the weatherization themselves too. Or if you just don't want the assessment done and you know that you just want to do some weatherization, you can choose a direct weatherization pathway where you select a contractor who's participating in the program. They can come in and just install the weatherization for you, but you won't get that HEA report. So if we go to the next slide, this gets into weatherization. So I don't know if we wanted to take a break and look at the videos.
We're going to try to see if we can get the video running on the HEA, and if not, then we will see if any counselors have questions, and then we will move on to weatherization. But thank you, Chris.
Sure.
Ina?
Any luck?
Ina, is the sound muted through YouTube? Like if you pull up the video controls?
No, so I can hear it myself,
can
and
hear
I
it. Okay.
am
You still can.
using computer audio, but for some reason, let me try one more thing. Any luck?
No. We will make sure that these videos are posted alongside the posting of the recording today. Paul, do you have a question for Chris?
I have a question for the previous speaker. I had my hand raised, but I wasn't called on. He's the one that talked about the heat pumps. My question is, does he envision any rate breaks for the electricity for low or moderate income? Will there be some adjustment for these people who take on heat pumps?
So, Paul, that's beyond that panel, but there are heat pump rates in effect in certain territories and others being proposed. Commissioner Mahoney?
I couldn't get to my hand raised fast enough. Yeah, I was just gonna say that in both National Grid and Unitil electric service territories, there is a heat pump rate in effect. And Eversource is now before the Department of Public Utilities for approval of their proposed heat pump rate. And essentially, the heat pump rate, make sure to recover from a customer the costs of serving them throughout the year. However, it provides a lower rate, electric rate during the winter, and then a slightly higher electric rate during the summer compared to their non-heat pump customer neighbors. So what this effectively does is lower the overall costs for customers during the wintertime with a heat pump rate and spreads out the cost of serving them from an electric standpoint throughout the year.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, back to you, Chris, and we will put up the weatherization